This is a special statue for me because, for me, this was my teammate, but also he was the best player I ever played football with, and he had so much talent that was untrue. My first time I met him was at the Noak Hotel in St Albans, and I'd been called up for an international match by Danny Blanchflower, and I met him, Pat Jennings and Alan Hunter in the Noak Hotel, and that was the first time I met George, and he had been called into the squad. Making my debut against West Germany in 1977 with George up front was a special moment. He was my boyhood hero, even though the result wasn't great at the end, but we played well for an hour and he was superb. His touch was brilliant. The German fans loved him because he used quality and class, and he would nutmeg some of the German stars, and they were applauding and he would play 1-2s off your shin, which was easy for George. Anybody who actually played with George knows how good he was. He had 2 brilliant feet, and his balance was amazing. He would be turning to the left and his body would nearly go 45 degrees, but he wouldn't fall over, and then he would change and go the other direction. He was unbelievable balance, and he had quick feet. People don't realise how good a trainer he was. He loved training. He wouldn't miss training. He loved the physical training. He was good in the air. He could head a ball. He scored goals. He created goals. George was special, and being a Manchester United star and legend and doing what he did for them, he was under a lot of pressure, but I knew him when he wasn't under pressure, when he was chilled. A very intelligent person, and loved movies, knew a lot about movies and music, and when he was relaxed and chilled out, that's when he was at his best. From 1980 to 1986, that's 6 years that we were unbeaten and qualified for 2 World Cups, won 2 British Championships, and did what we did, and the teams we beat, and we really did pull the stops out. So, we achieved an awful lot, but I'm proud of what we achieved as a band of brothers, and we did so much for our community and for the people in Northern Ireland. This is where I was sitting the day that Steve Davis passed the ball diagonally into the inside right channel, and David Healy hammered it into the back of the net when we beat England 1-0. That was a very special occasion. After over 70 years, we hadn't beaten them for over 70 years, that was a fantastic occasion. But the players deserve so much credit and quality that day. They worked tremendously hard at pressing and closing down. And that was the only way we could beat England. We knew on paper they had better players. And you look at Frank Lampard and you look at Steven Gerrard, David Beckham, Wayne Rooney, Michael Owen. They had an amazing team, and we knew we had to work really, really hard. And we were organised, and the players did what they were told. And Sven-Göran Eriksson was the manager at the time, and I remember walking off at half-time at 0-0, and he said to me, "Hey Jerry," he said, your boys, they do really good first half." And I said, "Would you see what we're going to do the second half, Sven?"
I'm just down here, and Jerry's telling me about all his goals here. He said to me, "Have I got another hour here?"
It's going good, love, going good. And I was just talking about your goal against England. You broke the record on the Caribbean tour, didn't you?
It was one of the strangest trips. Honestly, we were island hopping. We arrived in Barbados, the first one.
Yeah.
And then we went to St Kitts.
St Kitts and Nevis.
Honestly, we were on this plane. It wasn't one where you sit in normal seats. It was like a bus stop. People were getting up and getting on, getting off and getting on, and you were stopping at these different islands before you actually got to St Kitts. It
was a nightmare. My first goal was that goal there at that end, and that was against Belgium in the World Cup. Yeah. And then the second half I scored my second goal at the other half. We beat them 3-0. Now, when did Northern Ireland ever beat Belgium 3-0 in a World Cup qualifier?
Belgium 3-0.
Exactly. So then the next one was Portugal. We played Portugal and we have to beat them because they beat us in Portugal. Yeah. So one chance, Terry Cochran gets to the byline and crosses a great ball far post. I headed in. Yeah. So we beat them 1-0, and I said that was in the same goal. Yeah. I said then the next one after that was Israel to qualify for the World Cup, and that was a wee routine crossover. Billy heads it down, left foot volley, I hit the back of the net, and we beat them 1-0. So they're all 1-0. See you, David. Take care, mate. All the best. And you. Starting off at Bangor, starting off at the GIA, starting off at Bangor Football Club, going to Tottenham, then moving to Watford, and of course Elton John was the main man there, and Graham Taylor had a huge influence on my career in terms of my fitness levels and what I did in the World Cup in 1982, which I think he deserves a lot of credit for. He got me fitter than I'd ever been in my life, and I've got lots of happy memories there. And then, of course, coming back after the World Cup, I scored the first goal for Watford in top flight football. This is coming up to Broadway on the Falls Road, and I played football for a team at the top here. The bar on the right hand side is called Heinz's, and I played for Paddy Heinz's in the Bars League. There it's called the Red Devil, which is the Manchester United bar. They're all Man United fans, and this is Beachmount. This is where I grew up, number 47 here on the right. That's where my mum and dad and my brothers and sisters, we all grew up in number 47. Make a drive, 47. And I remember my mum and dad standing outside the house in the middle of the road, and the whole family, and the pictures being taken for the Belfast Telegraph, and Eamon Holmes coming up to interview my mum here at number 47. They were interviewing her. It used to be a cinema across there. I think there's houses built in it now. It used to be the Broadway cinema. It was one of my favourite places to go. I loved the cinema. I spent a lot of time in there. That was the hospital, the Royal Victoria. I used to have a season ticket in there. I used to get that many injuries. I always loved getting home. I always said when I'm coming in and I see the Harland and Wolff cranes, Samson and Goliath, yeah, that's when you know you're coming home. And it always made me feel a warm feeling, flying back into Belfast. Even for international matches, it was a warm feeling for me. Came to the job with the Spanish football and Sky. George recommended me. George had sort of told him that I played football in Spain, and if they were going to do anything on Spanish football, they wanted to talk to me. So they said, "What are you doing, like in 2 weeks' time on Saturday night at 7:30?" And I went, "Not a lot, to be honest." And he said, "Well, will you come along as a guest?" And that's how it started for me. George got me the gig, my first gig with Sky. Well, I mean, the book is something I've been working on for a year now, and I am excited about it, but it's only in the last few months this is starting to sort of come closer to being printed, and it'll be printed in the next few weeks. But there's lots of good stories in it, and there's lots of funny stories in it, but there's lots of sad stories as well. It's not all good. There's some, the difficult times growing up in the Troubles and going through the Troubles. Like, I didn't leave until 1975. A lot had happened before I left in 1975, and I always think I was fortunate. I got an opportunity to get out of Northern Ireland when it was that bad, so I took the opportunity. And there's lots of hardships that goes with it. It's not all good, but you have to take the rough with the smooth. And I'm a very positive sort of a person, and I think people will like it. They'll like the book because it's true to heart, and it doesn't just tell about my football career, it tells about how I evolved. Iker Casillas was a goalkeeper, and he had come out to about the edge of his box. David Healy lobbed it. He lobbed it straight over the top of him. It was a great goal, and it was 3-2. But they had 2 chances before that and didn't score. And of course, we took our chance and put it 3-2, and we went on to win the game 3-2. It was a great victory. But that Spanish team went on to qualify for the Euros and win the Euros for the first time in many years. And that team then went on to win the World Cup. So it shows you what quality Spain had in the team then.